This is the Capitol Rundown.
We have the former president on one side promoting these candidates and the DeVos family and others on the other, and we're going to see who wins.
I think it's really important to talk about what we want to do to make Michigan a family-friendly state.
Regardless of what we look like or where we live, everyone will have unfettered access to the ballot box.
It's all straight ahead. The Capitol Rundown starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. The clock is ticking. Early voting has already started, and we're just over 2 weeks from the August 2nd primary when people will vote in person and clerks across the state of Michigan will count the ballots. Then we'll know which Republican will face incumbent Democrat Gretchen Whitmer this fall. And we've got the results of a poll out this week that gives us a snapshot of that race. It shows Tudor Dixon in the lead with just over a quarter of the vote. That's 11% more than her closest competitor. Ryan Kelly is in second with 15%. Kevin Rinke and Garrett Soldano are tied for third with 13% each, and Ralph Rebant picked up just 1%. But there's a reason those numbers don't add up to 100%, and that's because 33% of Republican voters say they still don't know who they'll vote for. So while Dixon has a solid lead, the race is still up for grabs. The poll by Mitchell Research and Communications, conducted on July 7th and 8th, has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.75%. And speaking of Tudor Dixon, the Capitol Rundown had a chance to sit down and speak with her about what she wants to do as governor. We tackle education, guns, and abortion, and she also laid out what she wants to see the future of business look like in our state.
We're at a crucial step of getting kids back on track because in Michigan, we had students out of school longer than most other states. So what can we do to make sure that we're not behind? As you know, those literacy exams came back and we've got half of our third graders that are failing the literacy exams. So it means we need to get people caught up. I really want to look at what we can do to harden our schools and provide safety resource officers, make sure that our schools are safe. When we look at gun regulation, it's never been effective. If you just look back at what happened in Chicago, they have gun control, they have red flag laws, and that didn't prevent this from happening. So why don't we put our kids in a situation where we know they are safe? And so far, we don't have anybody talking about this. Even when the governor is asked what you're going to do about making sure our kids are safe in school, her response is always, we should have a discussion about it. What is that discussion? We have a 2018 Safe Schools plan. That hasn't been implemented. Had that been implemented, we might have seen something different happen in the Oxford situation. We've got to make sure that we are focusing on our kids when they're in school, that school is safe. We are not going to infringe on our Second Amendment. We are going to make sure that people are safe and that when we see mental health issues, that they're taken care of, that we're not going to look the other way and say, well, this is not my problem. That we're going to take into account that 2018 school safety law, the okay to say, make sure that people know when we see a problem, we take care of that problem. Trying to gather up weapons has absolutely never worked. A life is a life to me. A life is a life. And it's important to protect life. And I'm a mom. I've had babies. I've felt that first moment of feeling life inside of me. That moment that you feel life and your body is changing, that life is valuable. Businesses are being driven out of the state by state government. And if you're a business owner or a person with a family and you want to have a job, we want to make sure that this is a business-friendly state and that we're driving companies here instead of across the border. I think it's really important to talk about what we want to do to make Michigan a family-friendly state, and that is that we want to create safe communities first and foremost. We have a lot of dangerous cities in this state. In fact, we're on the top 100 list in many different areas, so we want to reduce that and make sure we have safe cities, and I think that's something that we can all agree upon.